Hey everyone, Jake here with a fun news story because apparently Xbox's Phil Spencer was itching to acquire Nintendo back in 2020. This story comes to us via Andy Robinson at VGC. That's Video Games Chronicle, and I will link to that article in the description below. If you have a minute, maybe press that link, click around the site, it goes a long way. But here are the deets. Microsoft has been in the news a lot given their highly publicized acquisition of Activision and the long in-court process concerning that deal. Well, court documents were recently published that included emails between Phil Spencer and Microsoft's Executive Vice President and Chief Commercial Officer Takeshi Numoto. The two were discussing acquisitions, and Numoto asked Spencer why they were not pushing towards a Nintendo purchase. Spencer said this in response, and I'm gonna read the whole chunk because I find it interesting. Takeshi, I totally agree that Nintendo is the prime asset for us in gaming, and today. Gaming is our most likely path to consumer relevance. I've had numerous conversations with the LT of Nintendo about tighter collaboration and feel like if any US company would have a chance with Nintendo, we are probably in the best position. The unfortunate, or fortunate for Nintendo, situation is that Nintendo is sitting on a big pile of cash. They have a BOD that until recently has not pushed for further increases in market growth or stock appreciation. I say until recently, as our former Microsoft Board of Director member, ValueAct, has been heavily acquiring shares of Nintendo, and I've kept in touch with Mason Morfitt as he's been acquiring. It's likely he will be pushing for more from Nintendo stock, which could create opportunities for us. Without that catalyst, I don't see an angle to a near-term, mutually agreeable merger of Nintendo and Microsoft, and I don't think a hostile action would be a good move. So we are playing the long game. But our BOD has seen the full write-up on Nintendo and Valve, and they are fully supportive on either if opportunity arises, as am I. Now, with all of that said, these are of course Phil Spencer's workplace emails, and in the workplace, sometimes you say stuff to your bosses, collaborators, employees, etc. that isn't 100% the truth as you understand it. So who is to say what exactly Spencer was aiming for here? But if we are to take Phil Spencer at his word, here's how he concludes the email, I quote, "At some point, getting Nintendo would be a career moment, and I honestly believe a good move for both companies. It's just taking a long time for Nintendo to see that their future exists off of their own hardware. A long time." Now, with Microsoft unafraid of making industry-shaking acquisitions and pivoting the market into a place of corporate consolidation, who is to say what they will or won't do in the future? Capitalism's endless expansion knows no bounds, after all. Now, the VGC article also mentions a prior time Microsoft acquiring Nintendo made the news. This was back in 2021, and the incident was almost 2 decades ago, but apparently when Microsoft floated the idea to Nintendo, they were laughed out of the room. Now we're going to wrap up this story, but let me know in the comments below what you would think of a Nintendo under the Microsoft banner. Are you curious at all? Sound off, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.